Hi everybody and welcome to this week's Surge Online. We have another good one for you tonight with Jordan speaking in just a minute. But first up we have Nathan doing the Malteser challenge, trying to see if he can defeat Beth-Anne in the Battle of the Challengers. So check it out, let us know how you think he's done, and we'll see you in a minute.
Hi, I'm here to defeat Beth-Anne. Oh, no. Here are my Maltesers. I have to get as many of these into this bowl in 30 seconds with this straw. I do have a cheerleader at my side who you will hear scream at some point during this video, I presume, because he is wanting more Haribo. I will just show you his face and then we should get on with the challenge. Look. Oh, yes, who's going to win, Beth-Anne or Daddy? Maltesers. That's of course, the winner is always Maltesers. Okay, so I've got to get as many of these in this bowl as I can. I am going to annihilate Beth-Anne. That's my sole challenge and purpose of this video. So here we go. Charlotte's on 30 seconds on the clock. So here we go. Give me a countdown, Charlotte.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Three, 2, 1, stop.
Right. Let's see the results. There you go. I'm getting a clap from my son. You see, that's how well I've done. Right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Come on! Beth-Anne, you have been annihilated once again. I expect the next challenge, when I do the apple bubble one, I'll also annihilate that one. You know, she's got full of talk, but she's got nothing. Anyway, that was good fun. Hope to see you all soon. Bye!
So hey guys, I hope you're doing well. It's really nice to be back with you guys again today for Surge. And today I wanted to share with you guys something that I've kind of been processing over the past few weeks. This topic is quite an interesting topic, but a few weeks ago, I was reading a story and it was a story of Jesus with his friends and they'd just been hanging out for the day. And then in the evening, they decided they were going to travel by boat to another location. And so they all hopped on the boat, and then as we read the story, all of a sudden there's a big storm that comes. A storm with like hurricane-like winds, which is blowing the boat from side to side, side to side. And as you can imagine, all of the disciples, they're so scared, they're so worried about what is going to happen, what's going to go wrong. They're terrified because they do not know what the future holds for them. But in the midst of the storm, something really intriguing happens. See, Jesus is with them, but instead of being afraid, instead of being like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen to us? He's actually sat below deck, sleeping. How can you sleep in a storm? That's such a weird thing. But Jesus was sleeping in the midst of a ship that was rocking from side to side and winds blowing all over the place. He was just peacefully sleeping. And the disciples went down to Jesus and said, Jesus, you've got to come and save us. You've got to. Without you, we're nothing. Without you, we're dead. Without you, we're lost. Jesus, come and save us. And Jesus woke up, and as he woke up, he said this to them. He replied, you of little faith, why are you afraid? Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. See, how often in life do we find ourselves in situations where it feels like our boat is rocking? The boat of our life is swaying in the wind, and we're scared and we're worried. We're anxious about what the future may hold for us. We don't know if we're going left, we don't know if we're going right or straight forwards. We just don't know. See, often in life, we have those situations quite regularly, whether it comes to school or college or university, or even in your workplace. Sometimes we have those issues and problems in relationships and we don't quite know how to get that friend back or how to restore the relationship with our family. And what these things do is they can create such anxiety within us that we all of a sudden become really afraid. We're a little bit worried. We feel like we're alone and there's no one that can come and save us. See, for me, I've been in that situation a lot where I've been panicked and worried. But the cool thing is about this story, though, is that even though the disciples were fearful, even though they were scared, they were worried about the unknown, they had the person that could save them present. See, Jesus, he was on the boat, he was with them, he hadn't left them, he was in the midst of the storm with them. See, for me and for you, often we can be in a place where we are so consumed with anxiety and fear and worry that we sometimes think that we're by ourselves, that we're facing this thing alone, when actually we're not. See, most of the time, people are around us to care for us, to love us and support us. And sometimes we've just got to let them in. For me, I'm an introvert, and sometimes that's really difficult for me to let people into my situation, to let people into my thoughts and feelings, because I am used to doing everything by myself. Whereas extroverts usually find it a little bit easier to encourage people to come into their situation. But sometimes we're all guilty of forgetting, though, that Jesus, the person that can help us in all situations, is always present with us. He can come in and he can help us find peace. He can find joy and excitement and anticipation for the future. See, he can take away our anxiety, take away our fear, take away our shame, all of those bad emotions that we sometimes carry, and fill us with the fruits of his Spirit, which are love, joy, peace, all of those amazing things that he offers to us. But the crucial thing is for us, for those of us in the storm, is remembering to go to Jesus when we're feeling those emotions. Some of you may be in a place during lockdown where you feel like that, where you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm going to explode. Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh my goodness, I can't do this anymore. I need to go see my friends. I need to go to McDonald's. I need to do all of these things. I just can't stand it anymore. Some of you may be worried about your exams and the cancellation of them and what that will mean for you in the future. Or some of you will be fearful of getting into university and what is university going to look like for you. Some of you that are uni students may even be fearful of what am I doing? I'm spending £9,000 a year and I'm stuck at home and I'm not really getting the university experience. And so often we can have all these negative feelings and emotions which come out as all these frustrations and anxieties and fears of what is going on around us. See, this week, I'll be completely honest with you. I was in a place where I've had a lot of anxiety recently and fear about what's going on in the world, what my purpose is, what am I trying to do, what am I trying to achieve? As most people have found, lockdown is pretty boring when you're stuck inside all day, and that's no different from me. In my workplace, I've been stuck inside working behind a laptop all day, every day, and that's not fun. I've noticed that it's not fun, and I don't want to do that. I want to be out doing things, exciting things. And one day I came in from work and I realized that actually I was overwhelmed with the amount of stress and frustration that I had built up because of lockdown. Because I felt like I wasn't achieving anything at work. I felt like I wasn't being everything that Jesus created me to be. I felt like I didn't have a purpose in my life. And sometimes we can feel like that, especially in lockdown. We can often feel like we are lacking purpose, that we have no reason to be alive. But actually, that's not true. For me, in that situation, I felt like I was in one of those storms where I was worried about what the future will hold. Things are coming left and right, and I'm just fearful that I'm going to get lost. I'm going to go off track. I'm not going to go to where I believe God's told me that I'm going to. And that may be the same for you. But the thing that I did that evening when I came in from work with this anxiety and stress and frustration was quite interesting. See, I was in a bad mood, but as I was sitting, I really felt like I needed to go for a walk. And so I got my dog on a lead and we went for a little walk. And as I began to walk, I began to pray. I didn't pray out loud. I didn't do anything weird. Literally in my head, I just began to have a conversation with Jesus. And I began to say to him, Lord Jesus, I'm fearful about this. I'm fearful about this. I'm worried about this. I'm disappointed about this. I'm disheartened about this. And as I began to just be honest with him and tell him my fears, the same way the disciples went to Jesus and told him their fears of potentially drowning, I saw him wake up. What do I mean by wake up? Well, in the story of Jesus on the boat with the disciples in the midst of the storm, when the disciples spoke, Jesus woke up and he acted. And in my situation, when I gave him my situation, when I gave him my fears and worries and doubts, etc., I felt him wake up. And what I mean by that is that I heard him begin to speak to me. Because I'd gone to him with my worries, because I'd gone to him and chose to listen to him, he began to speak. He began to speak and speak and speak. And as he spoke, all my anxiety went, all my fear went, and my focus was realigned to what I'm doing on this planet, why I'm on this planet. Anxiety disappeared and my purpose came back. See, another coping mechanism that I've been using for a very long time, but more so in recent months, is using a journal. This is a notepad that I use just to sometimes write down my thoughts and feelings. See, journaling is one of the most incredible things to use all the time, but in particular during the storm. See, I love journaling because those of you that don't know how to journal, for me, this is what I do. I basically write down everything that I'm feeling. So if I've had a good day, I write down I've had a good day. And then I write down why I've had a good day. If I've had a bad day, I'll write down the feelings that I've had and try and explain why I've had those feelings. So for example, the other day when I was frustrated and felt like I was lacking purpose, I wrote down I've had a bad day because I've been stuck in an office all day and I feel like I don't have any purpose. See, that was the recording of where I'm at and also trying to work out why I was feeling that way. But then, the additional thing that I do in my journaling is I try and then pray. As I'm writing down my feelings, writing down my emotions, writing down what's going on in my life, I try and say, Jesus, come into my life and help me in these situations. Come help me see focus, help me to have clarity in these situations. And the cool thing is, every time I'm writing and journaling, he often comes and gives me great insight in terms of what I need to do or what I should be doing, or just realigns my focus to remind me that everything's going to work out. See, I believe journaling is a really, really important part of the Christian life. And I'm going to read you guys a verse to explain why I think that is. And it's from Habakkuk, which is a weird book, and we don't often talk about that. And it says this: Then the Lord replied, write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it. What's that talking about? In the context of the story where that verse is written, God was telling the prophet to write down the revelation that he got from God. Why? Because that way, when things are written down, you can remember what God is saying. You can remember what God is doing. And what I found when I'm journaling and writing down my thoughts and feelings and emotions, and then giving it to God and hearing his voice and him giving me new revelation of where I'm going, what I'm doing, what I'm trying to achieve, or him giving me peace, etc. I try and write those things down too, so that I've got an issue, I've got the reason for the issue, and then I've got the solution recorded down. So next time I have those worries, doubts, fears, etc., I can go back to my journal and I can read what God is doing in those particular parts of my life. See, when we speak to Jesus, when we speak to God, he can wake up and he can come and speak peace into our lives. He can come speak truth into our lives the way he did on the sea with the disciples. He spoke and there was peace on the waves. And for me, I want to share with you guys that today is the importance of, firstly, when we're in not the best mindset, inviting Jesus in to come and help us. See, we all have mental health. We all have different battles mentally. And Jesus can help us in all of those things. But also, in addition to asking Jesus to come, why don't you do something practical to mark out your journey? Mark out how you're coping internally. That may be journaling. That may be calling a friend and telling them what's going on and just saying, hey, can you pray with me in these particular issues? What I want to encourage you guys to do is don't be alone. You're not alone, because people are around you to help you and support you. But also, Jesus is in the midst of the storm with you. So guys, I just hope you find that helpful and get a journal out and begin to write what's going on in your life. So guys, I hopefully see you all very soon. See you later, guys.
Well, thank you for that, Jordan. Another great talk from him. Don't forget, if you've missed any of our previous things, you can find them on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Make sure you're checking in with us, especially on Instagram throughout the week, because we're doing little questions and challenges for you all. And we know we say it every week, but if you need anything, we are still here. We know we can't see you in person, but we can talk to you, we can pray with you, we can give you any advice that you need. So just let us know, and we will see you next week for another Surge Online. Bye!